Hey, hey you! Do you love the ancient art of the Oonga Boonga?
Yes.
But maybe you're tired of the same old bonking sticks that everybody uses.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, you've come to the right place, my friend, because here I present my top 15 most underrated strength weapons that are secretly overpowered. Particular strength weapons that don't always get the spotlight, but can still knock the socks off any poor sap who comes your way. That is our goal today, ladies and jabronis, so let's jump right into it. First up, number 15. Take a trip into Chernobyl, pick up a random brick, put it on a stick, and boom, got your very own cancer hammer. Festering with scarlet rot, the Rotten Battle Hammer is an exceptional weapon, capable of crafting some awesome status effect builds, because you can add frost or blood loss on top of the innate scarlet rot, and now you got 2-3 different passive effects going on. I mean look at him, he's already stinking the place up. Dude needs some Old Spice. You can only obtain one per playthrough, which is pretty disappointing, because if you do obtain 2 of them to dual wield, man, now you're talking, baby. The ultimate status effect power stance. And that dual wield Great Hammer moveset is one of the best. 3-hit combo for fantastic jump shots. But if you only have one of these naughty boys, you can just two-hand it using Braggarts or Barbaric Roar for them bonkerific heavy attacks that will boost the status effect build-up. Kindred of Rot Exaltation, Winged Insignia, and Twin Blade Talisman are all great for this setup. Some people swear by this hammer, and though I got love for it, to be honest, in my opinion, it feels a bit underwhelming. I mean, it's strong, but I wish it had more going for it, like more versatility. I mean, I'll admit, it is really fun and for sure has style points. If you're creative with it, you can pull off some crazy moves.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Hell yeah!
Yes, it deals decent damage and claps the hell out of bosses, easily breaking their stance. And you can spam this cowboy if you really want to, because you have infinite hyper armor while up in the air. So once you leap yourself in the air, you are good to go and cannot be interrupted. But this is all it does. It has no unique moveset or nothing else, and it's supposed to be the final boss's weapon art. I don't know, I kind of feel like this dude here, this guy articulates it well. I don't know, in the end, just feels like a missed opportunity for a very special final boss weapon. Here we have basically just a Viking sword, but larger, the Iron Chad sword. It's fairly difficult to obtain because it has a low drop rate when farming it, but I'd say it's worth it. There's plenty of other very similar great swords in its class, like the Claymore or Banished Knight's great sword, but this Iron Daddy hits the spot with performance. It has the highest damage output of all infusible great swords. This is the Big Daddy of non-somber swords. And everyone loves the simplicity of a good old basic metal greatsword in any video game. Now for some reason this greatsword works wonders on a pyro build with the fire or flame art affinity. It just ends up with a very high attack power dealing massive damage.
Why are you running?
And it's got that smooth running heavy attack. Dual wield 2 of them for a banger greatsword power stance. Reliable and versatile. Though there is one huge problem I have with the Iron Greatsword. It doesn't have any holster. Nothing. Not cool, man. Not cool. The weapon of choice for any insane hobo murderer. The Warped Axe. And though it is quite heavy while being small with a short reach, this axe is extraordinary in many other aspects. It has a unique moveset that takes advantage of the double-sided blade, which makes it slightly faster than other axes, and the strength scaling for it is abnormally high across all affinity types, plus has abnormally high status buildup for these infusions like Frost, Poison, or Bleed, making it a great choice for strength builds trying to utilize status effects. The Warped Axe fits perfectly with a guard counter playstyle, providing heavy damage with swift speed. Perform a guard counter combined with Royal Knight's Resolve, finish him off with that unique heavy moveset, and boom, beautiful. Is that a Nox Flowing Hammer? Or are you just happy to see me? Yeah, so the Nox Flowing Hammer. This weapon is ideal for delivering powerful strikes, great for breaking through guards with its weapon skill, Flowing Form. And although Flowing Form only deals 18 stance damage, which isn't much unless you spam it, it's still great against blocking or shielded enemies. Now, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it as the sole main weapon of a build, but it can be useful to hold on the side, to swap to and switch things up. Its weapon skill can be quite surprising in PvP, easily catching scrubs off guard. One of the longest colossal swords, and the favored weapon of Blade, the Furious Furball. The Royal Greatsword. Its weapon skill is not only beautiful, but it is secretly super powerful, benefiting from 2 hits, the actual sword plunge and the ensuing frosty explosion. It does not consume a lot of FP to perform, so that's good, and can deal up to 160 frost buildup, which isn't much, but its wide area explosion can easily one-shot any scrubber dubbers throughout the world. Now, a secret tip for this weapon is that the downward thrust part of the weapon art deals pierce damage. This is a thrusting pierce type attack and therefore can be buffed by the spear counter talisman. It scales mainly with strength and intelligence, dealing majority magic type damage, the perfect weapon for a Frost Knight build. The Iron Cleaver is a strength weapon with great potential. Optimized and used correctly, it is a beast. When creating the moveset for this weapon, Miyazaki knew not of what he had done because he unleashed a monster of devastating proportions. The ultimate combination of heavy slam and light spam. A sinister combination indeed. Unique chargeable R2 heavy attacks that run forward while finishing off with a hefty overhead chop. A second R2 will follow up with another chop, dealing up to 2-3k damage, as well as powerful poise, potentially breaking stance. Also, it's just fun. It's fun and satisfying, man. You feel like a bloodthirsty murderer while charging forward with this heavy attack.
He's a murderer.
And then this unique heavy is backed up with one of the craziest R1 light spams, stacking all of the consecutive hit buffs like Wind Insignia and all the charged attack buffs like Axe Talisman. You got yourself a godly cheeseball build, spamming and slamming all day, baby. One of the longest colossal swords, the Zweihander. Now, it's debatable whether the Zweihander is truly a strength or a dexterity weapon, but man, one look at this sword and you can just feel the masculinity emanating off of it. No mere man with ordinary strength are capable of swinging this weapon. Only real chads of a certain caliber can wield this. John Cena? Yes, he can wield it. Any Elden Ring content creator? No. Nope. Of course, it's great for giant big bunk swings, plus it's capable of a devastating piercing thrust. That is definitely something that makes this weapon so special and so fun. You can scoot around thrusting all day, either with its unique heavy attacks for a heavy pierce, or poking out of a dodge roll. You got piercing damage for both. And of course, the spear counter talisman. The low stat requirement, the excellent moveset, and the colossal poise damage make the Zweihander a viable and chadtastic choice for many different builds. If Popeye was an Elden Ring, this would be the weapon he'd use. It used to be one of the strongest meta builds in PvP. It used to be the double anchor spanker one-shot jump attack build. And even though they tried to nerf this build into oblivion, it's still powerful and certainly viable. Dual rusted anchors. You must power stance these. It's just a law, okay? You gotta dual wield them, stack poise, and trade favorably with every enemy you fight. Now, in case you didn't know, the reason these are special is because these came piercing through right out of Davy Jones' barnacle butthole with these spiky points sharp as hell. Meaning, it deals pierce damage. Combined with the spear counter talisman, your damage is now increased by 15% when counterattacking, which happens quite often when using jump attacks. Create the Moby Dick Slayer build. Harpoon in one hand, anchor in the other. Get out there and slay some Moby Ricks. You may not be aware, but this here is a top tier weapon, the Magma Worm Scale Sword, aka the Hairy Fish Sword, aka the two-handed toenail clipper. And even though this thing looks sort of like a stubby, hairy little monster,
That's what she said.
it is no joke once you get them flames ablazing. Its weapon art is like a combination of Lion's Claw with Magma Shower, and it can seriously rack up damage on enemies who are not resistant to fire damage. It gives you very solid hyper armor, so even while soaring through the air or scrubbing the floor with magma, you will not be knocked out. While two-handing the Magma Worm Sword, you perform a unique R2 heavy attack that has a higher motion value than other curved greatswords, meaning it's faster and can deal more damage. Before we move on to our big top 5, I just want to say thank you for watching and please drop a like if you are enjoying. Alrighty then, let's do this. Number 5. On paper, the Axe of Godfrey is dog shit, weak and underwhelming. Plus, it's one of the shortest weapons in its class. But the Axe of Godfrey does not give up. It perseveres through hardships just as it perseveres through enemy attacks while performing the weapon art, Regal Roar. You can tank through nearly everything on account of the hyper armor, granting you insane poise. It'd be a big mistake for any enemy to press you while you're charging up this weapon skill, because you're just gonna tank their attacks, then slap them silly. The Axe of Godfrey does not mess around, man.
The fuck up, bitch. Back the fuck up. I knock the fuck out you. Damn, man. Hey.
Great AoE size, which knocks enemies into the air like you're flipping a burger patty, allowing you to smoothly follow up with a heavy attack swing. The Regal Roar works the same way that other builds do that use Warcry or Braggart's Roar, meaning the Axe Talisman, Roar Medallion, Highland Axe, all that will boost the unique heavy attacks after activating the weapon art. Stack up with a strong defense, then roar and plow your way through, just like my daddy taught me. During my first playthrough, when I was just a baby Elden Ringer, I always felt the Radahn swords were the weapon of choice for any Elden Ring veterans. Classic, iconic, legendary, the Star Scourge Greatsword. A pair of black steel weapons, decorated with the lion's mane motif. I mean, damn bro, check me out. You can call me Big Dick McGee. These have a little bit of intelligent scaling affecting the magic damage, but it's mainly based in strength. Tragically, these are the shortest colossal swords, but considering its weapon skill uses gravity to pull enemies closer, I'd say it balances itself out. One of the only weapons in the game you innately dual wield, allowing you to perform that bonkers two-part weapon skill, making you truly feel like the Chad Master himself, General Radahn. One big problem is how you consume a costly 40 FP to fully perform the weapon art. But hey, typically every enemy in the vicinity will be dead after one use of this. It is powerful and it feels great, so it makes sense to be expensive. The Holy Sword Copter, made for serving Godfrey, the first Elden Lord, and breaking kneecaps. The weapon skill just feels awesome to perform, fully charging it up to unleash that ground slam vortex, which reverberates for a quadruple slap. These ripples will stagger enemies with each impact. And if you quickly follow up with another heavy strike, then it can easily lead to breaking their stance. The weapon skill is fairly slow, but with a decent amount of poise, it will be difficult to interrupt you. Perfect for tanking through attacks, then countering right back real hard.
Bitch. Back the fuck up. I knock the fuck out you.
Use this in PvP and I guarantee your enemies will not leave as happy campers. And also, this weapon gets style points, because that reddish gold tint is scrumptious. Now the Ruin's Greatsword makes up for what it lacks with pure Chadness. It's just like me. I got a real small weenie, but I make up for it with a giant cojones.
Damn, boy, he's thick.
And even if other similar weapon arts have a longer reach, Waves of Destruction still claps the cheekies off of enemies with style. Those are giant lightning bolts charging forward, shredding up the earth. This can be very deadly with strong poise damage. And because the weapon art gives you such strong hyper armor, you can perform it right in their face for maximum damage. Something that really gives the Ruin's Greatsword a bunch of style points is its unique heavy attacks. Charged heavies send out a burst of gravity magic upon slamming the ground. This slam causes additional damage as well as double staggering the enemy. So if you craft your build around boosting charged heavies, then you can create something truly powerful and unique. Because this weapon was initially used to chop heads off with one clean slice, it has a uniquely high critical strike boost. Executioner's Great Axe. Combined with the Dagger Talisman, you become absolutely villainous. And fortunately, because it's a big-ass freaking axe, you have several different strategies of dealing powerful poise damage to break stance. Ashes of War such as Barbaric Roar for them giant slapping heavy attack combos, or even Stamp Upward Cut. And that's what you gotta do. You break stance to get them on their knees, and then execute. That is the way of the Executioner's Great Axe.
This is the way.
It works well using Cold Affinity for proccing Frost, because now your critical strikes will be even deadlier with that Frost debuff. This weapon has the high damage, gnarly style, and a sinister backstory. That's what I call the classic triple nipple.
Damn.
Now, if you made it this far, I appreciate you. Drop a comment down below sharing your own favorite strength weapons. I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Stay golden.
Somewhere.